Not a single corner of Japan was ready for the terrible silence that prevailed tonight. After a flight full of speculation and intense conversations on board, Jungkook and TAEHYUNG are now rumored to have arrived in Japan and have chosen to rest in one of the largest and most luxurious hotels in the country. This news froze the entire internet because this step is not just a choice of temporary residence. It is a decision full of messages, full of question marks, and full of mysteries. The two global superstars, who have been living in the shadow of the company's tight schedules, now walk together through the lobby of a grand hotel in a silence that is louder than the cheers of thousands of cameras. Witnesses describe their arrival as calm but intense. Jungkook and TAEHYUNG enter the hotel in casual clothes, low hats, masks, and quick steps. But it's not the disguise that keeps people glued. It's their presence that feels so in sync. They walk side by side, not in a professional formation like two public figures with a formal distance. No, they walked like two people who are going on a very important journey, which only they can understand. What is most surprising is the fact that they do not go towards standard floors or ordinary suites. Hotel staff say that their rooms are on the highest floor, an exclusive area that is almost never accessed by the public. Even celebrities only occasionally stay there. The room chosen was the presidential suite with two large rooms but connected by an inside door, a form of room rarely chosen for work trips, but more often used by people who need emotional privacy, secret meetings, or simply a comfortable space without distraction for those closest to them. Shortly after they entered, the cameras were no longer looking, but witness reports continued. In the lobby, Jungkook is seen keeping his distance from the small crowd that is beginning to form, making sure that TAEHYUNG walks first to the elevator so as not to be disturbed by anyone. TAEHYUNG briefly looked back with a small smile, a short smile that seemed to say, "All is well." Jungkook replied with a quick nod before joining him. Not a dramatic interaction, but a natural one that shows a closeness that not many show in public spaces. That a few minutes later, a hotel staff member gave an exclusive report on the atmosphere on the highest floor after the two entered. The staff only catch a glimpse when the door opens from a distance. TAEHYUNG takes off his mask with a chuckle. Jungkook touches his shoulder briefly before closing the door. For ordinary people, this may be just a relaxing moment after a long journey. But for observers of their relationship, it is a testament to the trust, comfort, and mutual care that could not be seen in the public routine. What happens after the door closes is certainly still a mystery, but anyone can sense that their conversation on the plane is not over. The fact that they chose the most private space in the largest hotel in Japan made the public even more convinced that this trip was not just an impromptu vacation. They may be putting things together, preparing big plans, or doing important reflections on each other's lives and futures. Many entertainment analysts say that the decision of two artists as big as they are to stay together, not in different places, not escorted by a team, is symbolic of a bond that goes far beyond work. Small details keep popping up. A staff member brought two sets of dinner to the suite with no other hotel attendants. That is, they do not want strangers around. Jungkook is seen asking for an extra warm drink, while TAEHYUNG orders an aromatherapy diffuser, a clear sign that their goal is not a party or social event, but tranquility and recovery. There were reports that the room lights were left dimmed and the balcony was opened overlooking the Tokyo cityscape at night, as if they wanted to enjoy the time without interruptions. What Jungkook and TAEHYUNG were talking about behind the suite door is now the biggest question mark on the internet. The fans dissected every gesture. Their calm expressions as they got off the plane, the intense conversations on the plane, the choice to sit next to each other, the decision to buy their own tickets, and now the choice to stay at Japan's largest hotel. All of those parts form one storyline. It's a meaningful journey, not an ordinary business trip, not a publicity trip, but something that they choose based on personal wishes, that if their move all this time feels like a code of silence, then tonight is its biggest chapter. The calm after their arrival is not a stop sign. It is rather like a beginning. It was as if they took a breath for a moment before doing something that would shake the world. Is it about their music project? Is it about personal relationships? Is this about the future of BTS? No one can be sure, except for two people who are now resting behind the door of a suite on the highest floor of Japan's largest hotel. Now the whole world can only wait. Not with a voice, not with a riot, not with exaggerated assumptions, but rather with a pounding heart and an unstoppable sense of curiosity. Because tonight, right after the question mark flight, Jungkook and Taehyung chose to rest in the most luxurious and most private place in Japan together. And from there, whatever will happen next will not be small. It won't be ordinary. It won't be simple. The world is waiting for the storm they bring. Tonight is just a lull before anything starts, but the calm did not last long. About an hour after they entered the suite, an internal hotel source reported that Taehyung and Jungkook were seen on the balcony of their room, standing side by side, looking at the glittering city of Tokyo. There was no music, no cameras, only the sounds of the night wind and quiet conversations that no one could catch. From the gestures of the body, the two seemed to speak casually, but meaningfully, as if continuing something that had not been resolved since the plane. Jungkook occasionally looked down, playing with the ring on his finger, a habit that arose when his mind was focused. Taehyung, on the other hand, looks more expressive, speaking using his hands, clearly conveying something that comes from his deepest feelings. There was one moment when Jungkook just stared silently at Taehyung for a few seconds that felt long. Not confusion, not uncertainty, but undivided attention given only to someone he trusted deeply. The meeting gets even more interesting when the room lights are suddenly dimmed completely, yet the two remain on the balcony with only city lights illuminating their silhouettes. Sources say they don't look at all like two artists who are going through a work schedule. They are two men who are thinking about something big, something that concerns the future. Whether it is the future of a career, a musical project, or precisely a personal life, no one knows. But the aura of the talk was too strong to ignore. Another witness said small laughter sounds were heard every now and then, but not light variety. Show laughter but rather relief, like two people finally finding common ground after a long time. Then, the two re-entered from the balcony and the living room lights came back on. Jungkook is seen preparing a drink while Taehyung sits on the couch, massaging his nape from exhaustion. When Jungkook handed over the cup, Taehyung raised his head and said something that made Jungkook laugh softly and shake his head, like someone who couldn't believe what he had just heard but was happy to hear it. Something has changed in them since landing. The tension-filled energy now turned into a warm calmness. It was as if whatever they were discussing had finally found an answer. Taehyung leaned back on the sofa while closing his eyes, and Jungkook sat beside him, not talking to each other for long, but a silence that felt very comfortable. Silence that can only be born from deep relationships that do not need words to be understood. Outside the suite, the world is getting confused. Hashtags about them peaked across platforms. Speculation exploded. Entertainment analysts began to devise theories. The media waited in every corner of the city. But behind that door, there are only two people who could finally breathe without pressure. Two people who for years lived in the spotlight and commentary of the world. Tonight have a space where they just be themselves. The biggest impression of this whole incident was not about the luxury of the hotel, not about the mysterious trip to Japan, not about the internet furor. What made the most impression was precisely the emotional silence that was felt between them. The silence that came after a conversation that they had probably kept for too long. Some say their closeness is just friendship. Others call this a code for a secret project, while others consider this a new chapter in their lives. Yet one thing is certain. Whatever they build, whether as two artists or two humans, feels too powerful to ignore. And when the lights of the suite finally went out in the middle of the night, the whole world stayed awake, waiting. Because starting today, everyone knows one thing. Something has started in Japan. And when Taehyung and Jungkook step out of that hotel tomorrow, the world will see them not just as superstars, but as two people who have just taken a decision that will change everything.